Guys, emergency meeting today. So in this video, I'm going to cover the emergency protocol, how to get a degree apprenticeship fast. So I'm going to cover in a second exactly why I'm making this video. But just before we do that, as usual, let me introduce myself in case you don't know me. My name's Owen. I'm a degree apprentice and I help people get degree apprenticeships in the engineering, technology and finance industries. Here are some of the people I helped last year get into degree apprenticeships with companies like Amazon, HSBC, Deutsche Bank, JLR. Did I say JLR twice? Sure, I got more than one people into JLR. There we go. KPMG, just to name a few. Okay. So I got a comment on a video the other day, which was, can you make a video of the last minute things you could do if you're going to apply for a degree apprenticeship this year and your CV is not the standard you expect? And this got me thinking about a video that I could make to help you guys out. Okay, so usually when you're applying to degree apprenticeships, okay, there's probably like two different categories you might fall into. Okay, so have a think which of these categories you're in. Okay. Either number one, you started preparing like 3 to 18 months in advance, you're doing loads of research, writing your CV, getting loads of work experience, and you've been doing it like the whole of year 12, whole of year 13. Maybe it's that. Or maybe you're in the situation where so far you've actually done nothing or very little for degree apprenticeship applications. Okay, so just have a think right now which one you're in. For me personally, I was thinking about degree apprenticeships from the start of year 12, so I would have fallen into this category here. But I know there are a lot of people who are in this category who they're starting to realise now, because applications are opening, they're starting to realise they want to do a degree apprenticeship, but they haven't done anything so far, or they've done very little so far. What can they do to still get into a degree apprenticeship? Is it too late? Okay. And the answer is, well, good answer for you, no, it's not too late, okay? If you do things, you can definitely get yourself ready for the degree apprenticeship application process, which is going on now. It's going over in the next couple of months. You can sort of do like a speed run emergency protocol to get yourself up to the standard you need to be for these degree apprenticeship applications, okay? So within this category here, by the way, if you've already started preparing like 3 to 18 months in advance, I'll be completely honest with you, the rest of this video probably isn't for you. You can probably click off this video, because most of the stuff I'm going to say in this video, you probably already know because you did it like a year ago. Okay, this video is purely for the people who've done nothing or very little, and they basically need to get last minute ready for the degree apprenticeship application process. Okay, so if you're on the left here, don't worry, you can go and watch another YouTube video on my channel. Give you a bit of analytics, please. Thank you. So let's move on to this now. There's two more subcategories within this if you've done nothing or very little for degree apprenticeship so far. The first one is you're not prepared to work hard to get in. Okay, and I'll just be honest, there's going to be people in this situation, they really want to do a degree apprenticeship, they know they've done nothing, but they're still not going to do the work. Because I'll be honest with you, degree apprenticeships are hard work to get into. Very competitive, very competitive. And if you've done nothing so far, you're going up against these people who've got 12 months ahead of you. So if you're not prepared to work hard and sort of sacrifice stuff to get into these, then it's going to be very difficult. The other stage here is people who they've done nothing and very little so far, but they are prepared to work extremely hard. Okay, and this is basically the target audience. So I just wanted to make sure no one's like watching this video if it's not relevant to them. This video is specifically for people who have done nothing or very little for the degree apprenticeship applications so far, but they are prepared to work extremely hard. Okay, this isn't like a Thanos click magic bullet. I'm going to tell you one thing and you've got a degree apprenticeship. No, I'm going to give you a roadmap, a protocol you need to follow, but it's going to be hard work following it. Okay, so if you think you're not prepared to work hard to get in, then this video is not for you. You can go and find a different video. Feel free to scroll on TikTok, something like that, okay? So this is for the ones who are prepared to work extremely hard. Okay, so that's what this video is. It's going to be the emergency protocol, how to get a degree apprenticeship fast. If you've done nothing so far and literally you need to be applying within the next couple of weeks, within the next month, whatever it is, this is the emergency protocol you can go through super fast. Okay, so let me move on to Notion now. So there's this Notion document where I'm covering absolutely every step. There's just this whole checklist is going to be in the description. So you can just go down to the description, have a look at this checklist after the video and start ticking off the things and sort of just going through it. Okay. So let's start off. The first thing you want to do is, and this is the most important thing really, is just clarify that you want to do a degree apprenticeship. Okay, what industry do you want to do it in? What apprenticeship do you want to do it in? Okay, so this means you might need to research a bit about degree apprenticeships, just so that you have like a roadmap going forward. You know what sort of companies to apply to, how to do all this sort of thing. Do you even want to do a degree apprenticeship? Do you know what to expect? You're going to get a salary, you're going to get a free degree, but you're also going to be working. You're not going to get a holiday, etc., etc. Do you know what to expect? So that's the first thing I'd recommend doing. If you are now deciding, obviously you haven't done anything previously, but you're now deciding you want to do a degree apprenticeship, just make sure you understand what industries they offer, what apprenticeships are on offer. Okay, what can you sort of expect as like a day in the life for a degree apprentice, okay? And see if it's for you. So I've linked 3 videos here which you can click on when you go to the Notion document. These will be useful. So this one's basically a very I was going to say very good, but you guys can decide that. I thought it was a decent video. It's an introduction to degree apprenticeships, the different industries, different apprenticeships, the benefits, the requirements, that sort of thing. And then these 2 here are more about life as a degree apprentice. So if you're still deciding university or degree apprenticeship, these 2 should be like a good overview of what life is like as a degree apprentice to see if it's something for you. Okay, so now that you've sort of watched those 3 videos and you've clarified, right, this is definitely what I want to do. I want to do a degree apprenticeship. I want to go in this industry, whether that's engineering, whether that's technology, whether that's finance, whether that's project management, whether that's marketing. Have that industry in mind, and then we can proceed, okay? Right, the next step, this is where it comes into what I said before about this is like for people who are prepared to work hard. You're going to have to commit to this path, okay? You have to understand you are about 12 months behind a lot of the applicants here, okay? So if I get my pen out, right? These people, 12 months they've been doing stuff. So I can tell you, I was doing stuff from year 12, researching stuff. I was making CVs in year 12. I did loads of work experience in year 12, online course in year 12, all this sort of thing. Massively ahead. You're in this situation here, you're a bit behind, which means if you try really hard, you can 100% get up to start competing with these guys. If you're not prepared to get the work in, to work hard to get in, it's not going to happen. Like, I'll be honest, there's so many people who like say they want to do a degree apprenticeship. They're like, oh, degree apprenticeships are so cool. They do nothing, and then they don't get a degree apprenticeship, then they go off to university and get £45,000 of debt. And it's like, if you want to do that, then fair enough, okay, just go for it. It's your choice. But if you're committed to doing a degree apprenticeship, except you're going to have to work hard. So degree apprenticeships, you might know, are extremely competitive, okay? Some of the top degree apprenticeships, less than 1% of applicants get in. For example, JP Morgan, which is a finance, they also do a tech degree apprenticeship. You have 143 people applying to one role. That means you have to be better than 142 other people. And if you think you're a top like 1 out of 143 people after doing no preparation, no work, then it's like, you probably think a bit too highly of yourself. Okay, sure, you can get to that top 143. It's possible, right? I think anyone can do anything as long as you work hard for it. Okay, so you need to be prepared for this hard work and sacrifice. So what I'm saying next is a couple of videos here I'd recommend. Honestly, you need to go on like a sort of monk mode. I don't know if you've heard of that before. Monk mode, dopamine detox, big focus season for the next couple of weeks, the next couple of months, really. Because everyone else has had such a big head start on you. They're like 12 months ahead. Yeah, it's still possible, but it's like the next couple of weeks, months, you have to be focusing on everything. Okay, so I've linked those videos there. You can definitely go and watch those videos. I love how I'm just putting myself in the same category of like Iman Gadji and Hamza, who both have like 2 million subscribers or something, but we'll get there eventually. Go and have a look at those videos, yeah? You got to be getting rid of all the apps, just focusing on your work, okay? Because there's going to be a lot of work to do. I'm going to go through step by step exactly what to do, but you're going to have to commit to this path. It's going to be, you're not going to want to do it. I don't know what, it depends on what your like biggest distraction is. Is your distraction TikTok? Is it Snapchat? Whatever, Instagram, just get rid of it. Okay, focus on this. It's going to be a lot of work. Those will be pretty decent resources for you to go check out. So that's all the introductory stuff about the way. Now let's just get down to the step-by-step emergency protocol. This is what you need to do basically as soon as possible. Honestly, these steps, which I'm going to go through, you could honestly do them, I'll be honest, in a week. Like honestly, in 7 days, you could get all of this done if you work hard at it. Okay, it depends. Like you could also go with this whole checklist, this emergency protocol, and you could do it in 3 months, right? It honestly just depends how hard you're willing to work, and that comes down to like how well are you going to follow these sort of steps that are mentioned there. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is get 2 to 3 virtual work experiences. Okay, so ideally I say you want to get in-person work experience, but it's too late for you because it'll be very difficult to organize in the next couple of weeks, next couple of months. However, virtual work experience is absolutely fine. I mentioned a whole bunch of virtual work experiences on my applications, okay? So I've linked a couple here that you can literally just click on. You just have to apply. That means you'll have to write out a couple of sentences, and then you basically get given access to it straight away, and then you can just complete this virtual work experience, go through it. It's usually like 6 hours, 8 hours in total. Get it all done, and then it's going to be really good experience, which you can put on your application, okay? So if you're interested in, for example, finance, just go click on this one. Software, go click on this one. Aerospace engineering or any sort of engineering, really go on this one. This Airbus one's really good. And anything else like project management, real estate, even tech again, engineering again, just go click on this one here. Those are great ones to start. So don't like start procrastinating thinking which one's the perfect work experience to do. You don't have time. Just click one of these work experience first. Just trust me. Click one of the work experience, do it. And then what you want to do is basically do 2 or 3 in total. So once you've done one of the first ones here, come to this link here. That's basically a link where I have a whole bunch of resources of virtual work experiences you can do. Just go and click here and go and do 2 or 3 more virtual work experiences until you have about 3 or 4 in total. So that's going to be good for your applications. Okay. The next thing you want to do is you want to do a less than 8-hour massive open online course. Okay. A massive open online course, otherwise known as a MOOC, is basically like a course you can do online. It's completely free, and recruiters really like this. A real recruiter has told me it shows you're proactive. It shows you're dedicated. It shows you've got a willingness to learn because you're going out of your way to go and do this course, get some extra learning. Because you can do it on aerospace engineering, you can go do it on artificial intelligence, on machine learning, on some specific like American economics or something, or inflation, or like any topic. Trust me, they have MOOCs and absolutely everything. I did some random MOOC on like epidemics. You can probably do a MOOC on like philosophy. Now, am I saying go do a MOOC on philosophy? No, keep it relevant. So everything we're doing here needs to be relevant to the industry you chose at the start here. Okay, whether that's engineering, finance, marketing, or whatever. Obviously, make sure that the work experience you're doing, the courses you're doing, are relevant to that, so that it's going to help you in your application. Okay, so these are 3 websites you can go: Coursera, edX, FutureLearn. Go and search for those fields you're interested in, and go and complete a less than 8-hour MOOC. You can go on there and you can complete MOOCs which is like 100 hours, but that's like something that people do over a course of a couple of months. Okay, you want to do one which is like less than 8 hours in total, so you can get it all done pretty quickly and get it there on your application. The next thing you want to do is an industry relevant webinar, exact same as the course. It's going to show you proactive. You're going out of your way to attend these webinars. It's going to show you have time management skills because you're managing your schoolwork on top of doing courses, on top of doing webinars, on top of any other responsibilities you have. Again, you're also going to learn lots and lots of technical knowledge. So when I went and did an industry relevant webinar with BMW, it gave me loads of good insights on engineering, electric vehicles, autonomous vehicles, which I was able to mention in my applications and in my interviews. So I've put a bunch of links down here. Again, if you don't even want to like spend time trying to find the best ones, honestly, all of these get my approval. Just go and click on them. And I'm not saying like I've watched them or anything, but just from reading the description, this is the kind of thing that would look really good on your application. So if you're interested in like engineering, okay, especially like automotive engineering or even like aerospace engineering, just go and click on this one. It's about sustainable electric motors. Okay, if you're interested in like AI, digital and technology solutions, tech, anything like that, ethics of AI and machine learning. Okay, again, another one here, AI. Okay, AI is a massive one. Semiconductors. Just go click on this one, go watch it. If you're doing marketing or something, or maybe like tech startups or anything like in like that sort of thing, digital, then potentially like Canva, you might have heard it. Like Canva is literally the app that I do these presentations on. The Canva CEO went on this sort of webinar thing and did like an interview. You can say what you learned about that, and that might be relevant to your marketing degree apprenticeship applications. Okay, and then another one is EY. So if you're planning on applying to one of the big 4, you can go there, learn about sort of these big 4 accounting firms, how they deal with stuff, and again, it's on AI and that sort of thing. These are some examples for you. So like you can literally just click on these straight away, or if you want to find one that like interests you more, or it's in a specific field, literally just go and research them. You can literally just search a big company in your industry plus webinar. They like loads of them do it. It's like you can search EY webinar and like you can click on a website, there'll be a whole list of them, and these are just some selections I've done. Okay, you can go and search Goldman Sachs webinar and there'll be loads for you to select. JP Morgan webinar, whatever company. It's like chances are like a good number of them, like the big ones, do have like a sort of webinar series they do. Just go on these webinars, and it's not like something you have to attend live. Because a lot of these, it's like they do them live and then they just like they record them and then upload the recording. So all of these here are just sort of recordings of webinars they might have done live at some point. So you can just go and watch it. So like some of these are from a couple of months back. Just go watch it, and that's a really good webinar. And you'll be able to mention on your CV, I attended this webinar. I learned about this. It was really useful. It was really good insight, and this really makes me want to join your company and do this degree apprenticeship or whatever. So especially as well, if you're applying to a certain company, if you do a webinar with them, that's going to be massive. Okay, so say for example, you know for a fact that you do want to apply for Goldman Sachs. Go and do a Goldman Sachs webinar, because it means you can put on your application, I attended a Goldman Sachs webinar. Now I've had a real degree apprentice recruiter who told me when a company sees its own name on an application, it's more or less a guaranteed pass to the next stage. Okay, obviously if like the rest of your application was a load of rubbish and you started like you literally didn't write anything, then you wouldn't. But it's like as long as the rest of your application is like mediocre, like good enough, right, you'll pass to the next stage. So that's why if you can go and get a webinar at the company you're applying to, go and do it. If you're applying to EY, for example, go and do an EY webinar. So then in your interview you can say, oh, I actually did a webinar with you. Okay, if you're applying to Goldman Sachs, go do a Goldman Sachs webinar, so you can say I did a webinar with you. Maybe Amazon, go and do an Amazon webinar on AI or Amazon Web Services or cybersecurity or Alexa or whatever. And then you can say in your application, I did this webinar with Amazon, and it's basically more or less a guaranteed pass into the next stage. Okay. Now another thing is do a presentation in assembly or in like a club at your school, like a lunchtime club, or to your friends. Okay, because a presentation is super good experience to mention in degree apprenticeship applications. One of the biggest skills they're going to be looking for in a candidate, especially these days, is things like communication skills, okay? Because you're all going to have to work within a team. You're going to have to be part of meetings. You're going to have to present things to people. If you don't have communication skills, you're going to struggle, okay? And this is where you can stand out so much. This is why I recommend it to everyone, because it's like, let's be honest, like 99% of the population are like scared of public speaking, right? So if you can be the person who can do a presentation, you've done a presentation, you were fine with it, you excelled in it, then it's like you can put that in your application and say, I did this presentation, it really developed my public speaking skills. That's going to stand you out from everyone else who's like they're probably too scared to do like a class presentation to like 20 people. So if you go do a presentation in assembly, in school society, to your friends, that's going to be really useful. So why have I randomly said to your friends, right? So if you can go and do one in assembly to like 100, 200 people, like within the next couple of weeks, like you can sign up for something, go and ask your teacher, oh, can I just talk about this thing or whatever? Go and do it, okay? Yeah, you have to be proactive. It's going to be kind of scary, but just go and do it, okay? Like if you're scared of something, by the way, that means you should 100% do it, okay? Because if you do it, it means you're going to get less scared for next time, okay? Anything you're scared of, just 100% do it. Maybe your school has like a math society or an economic society where they sort of do presentations on different topics. Go and deliver a presentation there on a sort of topic. The reason I said to your friends is, if all else fails, there's no suitable assembly you can do, or maybe you're in a gap year or something, so you can't do a school society. Honestly, just get all your friends together and be like, right, boys, can we just hop on a video call and I give you this presentation? Okay? And yes, it's not the same as saying, oh, I delivered a presentation to 300 people in my whole school assembly, but it is, I delivered a presentation to my peers on electrical engineering. By delivering this presentation, I had to understand these technical topics myself, and I had to phrase them in a way that made sense to a non-technical audience. And overall, this developed my communication skills. I now feel confident sort of condensing information and passing it on to other people. This is a skill that's going to be useful within the workplace. Okay, so even if it's to your friends, you can just say, just use the word peers because it sounds better. But literally just do a presentation like on any topic. So whatever it is you're applying to. If you're applying to like marketing, just do a presentation like digital innovations in marketing that have happened recently. If you're applying to economics, just do some random presentation on like macroeconomics or inflation or investment things, or how AI is going to affect the economics industry. Okay, something like that. If you want an example of a presentation, here's one I like filmed like a year ago of just like a short 5-minute presentation. It can just give you a sort of inspiration of like the sort of thing you could mention in your presentation. Like this is nothing fancy. This is just some random PowerPoint presentation. It's like sort of halfway through this video here. So if you click on this link here, it's going to take you straight to that presentation. It's just sort of like a 5-minute thing. You can just see how I do it, and that's the sort of presentation you can do. Okay, that's going to be really useful, okay? So that's now everything I would recommend doing in advance. Now, of course, there's more things that I'd normally recommend to people to do in advance before they apply. For example, go do volunteering, go do a part-time job, go work in a team, go do a sports team, go play a musical instrument, go do Duke of Edinburgh. But again, I'm saying this to people who may have a couple of months in advance. They may have a year in advance. You probably only have a few weeks, like a month, whatever. You don't have long. So unfortunately, we're going to have to skip those out for now. Okay, so it's not optimal, but basically what I'm giving you is this emergency protocol is basically the majority. What we can do. It's like I don't know if you've heard of the 80-20 rule. It's like this is the 80% of most important stuff that you can do in 20% of the time. Okay, so this is the biggest bang for your buck stuff you can do to get you ready for the application process. Okay, so once you've done all that, now it's about writing a CV. Okay, I'm writing a CV. I've filmed a video on it. It's just an exact walkthrough. I don't know if you're procrastinating your CV or you've never made one before, you don't know what the structure is, whatever it is. This is an exact walkthrough of how to write a CV. You can literally just play this video, write your CV alongside it. Like just pause it when I say something, write it down. Pause it, go write down your section. Pause it, whatever, right? You can just go, there's a sample CV in that video as well that I sort of analysed to give you some advice on that one as well. So 100% go and watch that video and just sort of play it through. Now, here's a specific thing about the CV which is going to be relevant to you guys in this sort of emergency protocol. You might not have a chance to finish some of the things you're doing. So let's say, like with this emergency protocol, say you literally have to apply to something in 2 days' time. You're not necessarily going to complete 2 or 3 virtual work experiences and 1 course in the space of 2 or 3 days, okay? So people ask me this question: if I haven't completed it yet, can I write it down on my CV? Now, here's the thing with your CV. Your CV, you can write absolutely anything you want, just don't lie, okay? So if you haven't completed something, 100% you can put it down on your CV, just don't say that you've completed it, okay? If you're only halfway through a course, just say, currently studying this course, and that's absolutely fine. Okay, so you don't have to have completed anything. Just if you haven't completed it, don't say that you've completed it. It's as simple as that. So ideally, you basically get through these as fast as possible. It means when you come to apply in the next couple of weeks or months, it means like these are already, you can do it on your CV. But if not, if you get to a stage where like you're halfway through, but I do need to apply to this one because like the date's getting on, the application date's coming soon, they're about to close, then just put a sentence, something like this: currently in the process of working through the 8-hour MOOC by the University of Manchester, and put a date there. So far, I've learned about key financial topics such as whatever. Studying for this course has given me skills which will be advantageous in the workplace. That's the kind of description you can do in your CV. So I'll explain like more like where exactly to put this sort of thing in that video. It's like work experience, key achievements. Like you'll understand it when you watch that video. But I just want you to remember this paragraph here. When you are coming to write your CV, if there's anything you haven't finished, no worries. Just say you're currently in the process of it. You're halfway through it or whatever. And then just talk about what you've done so far. That's absolutely fine. So far you've done this, this, and this. Okay, and you can just talk about that, and Not only talk about what you've learned, but also the skills you've developed. It's the exact same with your work experience. Don't just talk about like what you did during these work experience. Talk about the skills you developed. That's what they are looking for, these recruiters. It's these transferable skills: teamwork, leadership, communication, creativity, problem solving, analytical skills, growth mindset, numerical skills. Okay. Now, CV, I would say you definitely want to be getting this done, because basically about 75%. That's like I'm pulling that figure out of nowhere, right? But I'm saying on average, I think it's probably about 75% of companies ask for a CV, maybe a bit higher to be fair. With a cover letter, it's probably about, I want to say, 40% of companies. So the priority is getting that CV done, because for most companies you are going to need it to apply. But you still want to do a cover letter as well, because about 40% of companies ask for them. And sometimes the cover letter is even optional. But as I said, it comes back to what I said here. It's like, if the cover letter is optional, and then you can't be bothered to write a cover letter because you're not prepared to put the hard work in, you're not going to get the job, because there's going to be other people in these two categories here, like this one who are already prepared, and these ones who are working really hard. They're going to write a cover letter. They're going to go the extra mile, and they're going to look better to the recruiter. So if there is a cover letter opportunity to submit one, even if it is optional, 100% write one. Again, exact same as before. I've done a video walkthrough going through exactly, just literally step by step, how to write a cover letter. You can just follow that, and it'll help you with your cover letter. Okay. Now the next thing is, once you've done all that, it's honestly just apply to as many companies as possible. Okay. You just need to apply to as many companies as possible. You're not going to have as much work experience or key achievements as everyone else who's been preparing for 12 months. That's a fact. Okay. That's just a fact. Let's accept the fact here. So you're at a slight disadvantage. Obviously, you can improve, follow this protocol, that sort of thing. But it's like you are at a bit of a disadvantage. So you don't want to just apply to 2, because say you get rejected from those 2, you're done. Okay, and then you're not getting a degree apprenticeship. So you want to apply to as many as possible. I'm talking, normally I say for like the people who've been preparing for a good couple of months in a year, I say like maybe 10 plus. So for example, I prepared well in advance, and I applied to about 13. Pretty comfortable getting those degree apprenticeships for me. If you're literally getting into it right now, it's like you have to understand this is going to be difficult. So I'd be applying for 20, like 30, ideally. That's just how I'd take it if I was in this situation. Okay, so if you want to find companies, you can click this video here. But honestly, it's as simple as just look at all the big companies in your industry and just like put their name in plus degree apprenticeship. Like loads of companies have degree apprenticeships. You look at like any finance company in the UK, EY, Deloitte, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, they all do like some sort of apprenticeship. Right, you look at software companies, Fujitsu, Capgemini, Amazon, apprenticeships. Engineering companies, JLR, Bentley, BMW, Ford, they do apprenticeships. So honestly, just look at the big companies in the industry and search degree apprenticeship. That's like the fastest way you can do it. But then there's a bunch of other methods that I mentioned in this video, which you can look at there. Okay. Now, once you apply to as many companies as possible, you're now hopefully going to start getting through to subsequent parts of the application process. So after the initial like CV, the initial application, it then goes to things like psychometric tests, video interviews, real interviews, assessment centers, group exercises. And this is where you want to practice. Okay, because again, this is not just a walk in the park. People come into degree apprenticeships thinking they can walk it in the park, and then they realize, oh, I have to do an interview, and I'm against 100 people for this interview. I'm not very good at interviews, and it's like, do you think you're going to get the job? Probably not, right? So it's the hard truth, but this is where I'm talking about hard work. Like this part isn't even too much hard work, because this is like, this makes sense. Like when you think of applying to a degree apprenticeship, you're like, yeah, I probably need to do work experience in a course. It's like, fair enough. I probably need to write a CV. This is where it seems like a waste of time practicing for the next stage. Like at the time, you're going to be like, oh, I don't want to practice interviews. I'll be fine. Oh, at the time, you're going to be like, oh, I don't want to practice like group exercise or practice my presentation or practice my online testing or practice my video interviews. You'll be like, oh, no, I'll be fine, right? And then you go and do it. And then you realize, oh, I was just shocking at that interview and it's now too late. Okay, so this is one way you sort of like, this is the one that requires the most sort of motivation to just go and do in advance and put this work in. Okay, because you're not going to see the results straight away, but once you like get the job because you've been practicing interviews for like 6 months, then you're going to see the results. Okay, so if you want to learn how to pass every single stage of the degree apprenticeship application process, you can click this one here. And they also do have a coaching program, which I'll talk about in a second, to help some of you guys get into these degree apprenticeships a bit faster. Okay, so there's the emergency protocol. This Notion document, as I said, completely free. It's in the description below. You can come here and you can just go and tick off all of these. This is what I would personally recommend if I was in a situation where I need to get a degree apprenticeship fast. I've done nothing, and I now need to apply within the next couple of weeks, next couple of months. My CV is not where it is, where I want it to be. My cover letter is not where I want it to be. My experience isn't where I want it to be. This is the emergency protocol I would take. Okay, so I hope you have found this video useful. Just one final plug. I do have one-to-one coaching where I basically help my students become better candidates so they can get into degree apprenticeships faster. Also a whole bunch of other bonuses in there. If you want to read more about it and just hear about that coaching program, it is a paid coaching program. You can go click the link in the description to find out more. Okay, thanks for watching this video. Hope it has helped, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.